Loren Gailey, and today we are here with Dr. Louise Swartzwalter. She is a naturopathic doctor and the founder of Albuquerque Natural Health Center. Welcome, Dr. Louise.
It's great to be here. Thank you, Loren.
You have had quite a journey. Not only did you heal yourself, we'll talk about that, but you also now teach modalities around the world that are based on Hannah Kroger's modalities of here at the Peaceful Meadow, and you also teach some other modalities that are quite fascinating. Before we get into that, tell us how you healed yourself and how this led to your life work.
Okay. I was a teacher, so I was teaching kids. I actually taught special education students. And then I got sick myself, and it really started with getting all my mercury fillings taken out in one day. I had chronic fatigue. And so the path of healing myself and detoxing my body and getting healthy is how I got here. And so now I like to help others also do that. And so I guess I would say that I'm a good detective because I can really kind of intuit and feel people's issues from all that. So medical intuitive only because of my own path. You know, that's kind of really how I got here.
So Hannah Kroger's modalities helped you in your life along with quantum biofeedback.
Yes.
And we are here at the Peaceful Meadow Retreat in Boulder, Colorado, where you are teaching a seminar on Geotrans.
Yes.
Now Geotran, what is that?
Geotran is the language of the energy field. So it works on the light body or the soul body. So when you clear the field, it actually helps clear the brain. So like I said, I taught special ed, and then I became like those children I taught. I didn't have a memory. My phone number was written in my wallet. And I had sort of hyperactivity fatigue swings. So I've been seeking for things that would help myself. And now, of course, all of my clients and my work. And the Geotran work works by clearing the energy field. And let me give you an example. We get information. Our biomagnetic field is what we came in with. So there's that information. It could be ancestral issues. The second place that we get informed are from donors, and that just is people out in the world that are constantly affecting us because everything is energy. The third place that we are affected by are the electromagnetic fields in our environment, which then actually implant the brain waves and you resonate them with that wave instead of your own. So what the Geotran work does is it helps you come back to center, come back to your soul body, and manifest your dreams, whatever it is you want in your life. And so when I learned that work is when I opened my office.
Before we go on into the exact techniques, we're going to learn some of these great techniques that you experience, ways to clear yourself. But let's talk more about that. Okay, so we have the biomagnetic field, and then we have the donor field. So not only are our thoughts affecting our own field,
Right.
but other people's thoughts?
Other people's thoughts. So, for example, you could go to Walmart and buy something, and the person checking you out is angry that day. Then you can be affected by their anger. So now you're carrying that field of energy. You're carrying that anger. And it starts in the field first, and then it actually gets implanted on the thalamus of the brain. And then the thalamus communicates it to the hypothalamus in the brain. So here's how the brain-soul work kind of works together. And then your hypothalamus now holds it. And you end up acting that way. You have assimilated that energy. And then you may go home, and with your partner, you are angry. But you weren't angry before. So you have assimilated that person's anger, and you will act it out in your daily life until you figure out how to clear it. Many of us are not even being ourselves today, and we don't know it. So it is about clearing that soul or light body. So it works on all 12 brain rings, and there's 4 main integrations that you'll learn. And there are the miracle, the peace, the 4-in-1, and the living. And each one of those integrations has to do with your relationship to self. So like the miracle integration deals with dyslexia, how we learn, how we remember, and what we hear. So that integration, when I started doing that work on the students that I taught, I watched major changes. So AJ's processing ability got better. Because again, I'm a special ed dyslexic therapist, so I know those kids' brains. You know, and then David's writing skills got better. And Rachel had speech and language therapy, and she was about 9 at the time. And I remember having a meeting with the therapist, and she said, I don't have to see her as much. Her sequencing and her speech and language is better after one integration. That taught me, wow, this is powerful work. I knew it worked on me, but I started experimenting with it and really watching what was happening. Now, thousands of integrations later, you know, I'm changing people's lives on a daily basis, and that gives me this passion to want to teach it so that I can give those people tools then to use it with others and themselves. You know, so that's really the goal of all of this.
The integration, an example of what that might be, real quick.
Okay, and integration is working with codes in the field. And they're much like acupuncture points, only they're spin points. And so a basic example of those codes would be 4-2, I have positive self-worth. 2-2, I choose to succeed. 4-4, I choose to live in joy. And 6-2, I choose to live by the higher laws. So those are the clearings that you can do on yourself to constantly to be able to stay in positive self-talk, positive self-worth.
And it's just as simple as that.
It's as simple
What
as
are
that.
you doing when you do this? It looks like the same, but is it in different chakras or what's going on?
It is different spin points, and so it looks like different chakras. It's not really aligned with chakras, but it's spin points.
Spin points. And then you mentioned brain rings, so let's explain those.
So there's really 12 brain rings that orbit your brain, and each one of those rings has something to do with some of the different senses and things in the body. And so the creator of this work is Dorothy Wood Espio, and so she created this in the 1980s and started teaching it then and has continued to develop it. And so I have just big, thick manuals in my office of a lot of her work and a lot of those codes. And so those codes came from her connection with God. It's steeped in the Bible, really. What it is Dorothy believes the Bible is a physics book. And so I have to say that in a sense it's a little bit like quantum physics, which is the biofeedback that I do. So the overlapping here of what I'm able to do with people's brains, soul bodies, clearing the informational field so they can manifest their dreams and be healthy again, has been quite amazing. I'm in awe myself when I do this, you know.
We'll talk more about that. I do want to go back to the EMF fields, because
Okay.
how can that affect us?
Oh, greatly, because it affects our brains a lot. So we end up taking on that because they affect our brain waves. So we've all heard that, you know, cell phones aren't good to have by your head, and yeah, they cause brain tumors and different theories about what that might be. Well, they really are affecting your electromagnetic, biomagnetic field, your body and your brain. And so that's why we have those little cell phone protectors that you put on cell phones and things now. But all those radio waves are out there. So radio waves, frequency waves, whatever you want to call them, and they are affecting all of us. Even if you don't have a cell phone, you're affected by those cell phone towers. So to get the brain working back to normal again, you have to clear the field, and of course use those tools if you have them, like those cell phone protectors. I have them on my computers. There's whole house ones you can use. There's different ways to sort of grid your house for geoelectric, geopathic stress. And you know, they do that actually in Europe more than they do here. So we've been aware of this. It's just teaching people now. You know, it's education.
Very advanced to believe that this goes all the way out in the field around us. So let's talk more about clearing then, because it seems like it's just as simple as intention and actual words. So some examples, and then let's go back to Geotrans and the mind gems that come from that. What are those?
Okay, so it is about the power of the spoken word. The spoken word will clear energy. So if I did go to Walmart and I bought something and the person who was, you know, there checking me out had anger, and I came home and I was angry with my husband, it might be I've assimilated that person's anger. Now I could name the words about that. What's coming up for me? In other words, the questions you ask are important. Who's in my field? Am I 100% me right now? Who's in my field? Well, okay, well, where did I go? Well, I went to Walmart. Okay, oh yeah, that person at Walmart, I remember that. And then you just go, okay, well, if that person's in my field, let's see, anger, frustration, moody. So I say the words, clears the energy. If you get the right word, you'll feel different. You'll feel lighter. So it can be that simple. So that's part of clearing that donor energy. The bigger part of that, again, are those integrations. And the first part of an integration is called mind gems. And mind gems are just working in the field and balancing all 12 brain rings. And we can do that if we want me to do it right now? Show you?
Yes, let's do it.
Okay, okay. And so the first mind gem is just taking your right hand underneath your belly button and holding it there. And so you might want to do these with me. And this turns on hearing. So inner hearing and outer hearing. And you hold each one of these for 12 seconds. So they don't take that long to do. So I encourage all of my clients and my friends and my family to do these first thing in the morning and last thing at night. And then that way you'll sleep better, and you also wake up, and if you wake up in a funk, you can turn it around right away and have a good day. So we can kind of stay more even and more balanced. The next one is just putting your hand on top of your head, and this brings you into present time. So this is present time. And all of you futuristic people out there, this is a good one for you. When your brain's going towards the next day's events, you'll go, oh, thank you. And then we switch. You can feel that, can't you? And again, these are just like, again, they're not acupuncture points, but they're spin points or places on the body that have been found to work for that, you know, for that issue. So we're going to cone our fingers, and this one clears fear and switches on the brain, and it's done on the back of the head, so I'm going to turn around here. So it's one hand here and one hand here. And so it's on those occipital lobes, the bumps.
Why do you cross your hands?
You're crossing your hands because you're crossing the corpus callosum, so you're crossing right and left, and so you're balancing the brain. You're actually balancing, right and left hemisphere. And you hold this for 12 seconds, and then we're going to switch. So switching, most of them are done switching, just means that if this hand was on top, I'm going to switch and put the other hand on top. And we hold that for 12 seconds. Cool, huh?
Yes. We should be doing this in our exercise classes
Exactly.
in the gym.
Exactly, I know. We should, well, if you do them every morning. And then the next one is called switch on, and we're just putting the pads of our fingers together. This balances your electrical system. Okay?
So simple.
Very simple. Very simple and very effective. I've had clients call me and say, I forgot to do my mind gems, haven't done them for, a good month, found my paper when I was cleaning, had a headache today, did the mind gems, and my headache went away. So I get those little testimonials all the time. And then we're going to balance polarity. We're going to put one hand here and one hand here, and that balances, again, sort of polarity, so yin and yang, right and left.
Masculine, feminine.
Masculine, feminine, we all need this one. Polarity can also go out of balance, again, not just from negative thoughts, but also toxic foods. So I will do these in the airport, too, when I'm flying, because they help balance. And then we switch.
So these probably just take a few minutes to get all the way through.
They do. So we have a few more to go, and we're going to kind of speed it up a little. Reach back and give yourself a hug is the next one. This clears anger and being uncentered. And then we're going to switch. Feels good on my shoulders.
It is like a
Yeah.
self-hug,
It is a self-hug.
giving yourself love. There's no room for anger.
Right. There isn't. I know. That's what I love about them, because they're so simple.
And we take responsibility for what we create, so this is
Right.
clearing all of it,
Right.
even if it's not ours.
Exactly. You're clearing the field. When you clear the field, it seems to clear the emotional and physical bodies as well. So that's why I like the field work. And then we're going to cone our fingers, and it's going to go right at your hairline, and you're going to cross and touch where your forehead meets your hair. This one you want to picture all your favorite colors, so this brings in all the color hues. And the colors, and then we're going to switch. The colors are important for many reasons. Every color is really like an enzyme. That's the physical part. But we also know there's colors of our chakras. You know, there's colors colors mean lots of things for different fields again. And then the next one is in the middle of the forehead. So again, it's crossing and touching right in the middle, just between your eyebrows and your hairline. This clears negative emotions. So here you want to be saying to yourself what it is you do want to create. I am positive and confident. And then we switch.
Helps with the removal of any self-doubt.
Yes, it's really good for that. Very good for that. So just imagine, I know when I first started those, I'd have to hold that one longer than 12 seconds.
It feels really warm.
Really
I just
warm?
noticed that right now.
Uh-huh.
Interesting.
Yeah, and so it helps just change that. It just flips it back around, or reframing.
I feel better.
You feel better. Do you want to go through the rest of them?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, you will feel better.
Mm-hmm.
And so the next one clears, another one that sort of clears anger or rage. And it's right around the belly button. It's almost right on top of it. So it's crossing and touching again. And so I had one parent whose little guy, he was about 8. Her son was 8. And he used to get pretty angry. So she would have him do this one and then the other one for anger. And she would say, hey, you know what, Michael, do your mind jumps. Do your mind jumps. And he would calm down. So, powerful.
Yes. We hope you're doing these as well.
And we switch. And then the next one's on top of the head. And it's crossing and touching. And the points are in line with the ear. So I'm just going up from the ear on either side. And this clears trauma or whatever has traumatized you.
Even from the wounded
Even
child.
from the wounded child. So this is going to clear, and again, imagine doing them every day. Clearing every little trauma that comes in before it gets too big. Magic happens. And then we're going to switch.
So this is important these days, especially moving through this great shift of the ages. We really have to clear this.
Yes, we do. And that's why I feel so called, and I'm so grateful to be here at Peaceful Metal Retreat doing this, because these are tools that are going to help so many people right now. It's so necessary. So if we can clear the field and we can learn to do things quicker, we need to do that. It doesn't have to be hard. Actually, the most simple techniques are the most powerful.
And it is so simple.
Yeah.
And it's not prescription drugs or surgery.
Right.
And do medical doctors accept this? Are they getting used to these concepts?
They're beginning. I would say it's beginning. I think we have more open-minded people. They're seeking answers for their own body, their own family, themselves too. So it's coming. And then the next one's shock. And so it's just below the collarbone and crossing and touching again. And this clears whatever has shocked you or anxiety.
It's
Clears
interesting
anxiety.
that it's around the heart.
It is around the heart. It also reminds me of Donna Eden's work, she talks about K20, K3, I think it is, kidney 3 points. I've also heard that these are areas where you can tap if you're anxious. So that's the correlation of the relationship to other modalities, other work. Yeah. And then we're going to switch. And so if you do these before you write, before you have to do a talk, before you do an interview, right? You'll see it'll change. It'll change the frequency and the energy, so you'll be more grounded, more there, more clear.
Really tapping in.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. And again, it takes 3 or 4 minutes. And then the last one is envision, and it's just the dominant hand in the middle of the forehead. And this is called envision, and it's like a prayer. So here again, you want to envision what you do want to create, what it is you want to be doing or emulating in your life.
Interesting that that's on the third eye.
I know. Yeah, exactly. So, you know, what if you even, like, they're great as a group. You know, I do them every morning and every night, and a lot of my, you know, my clients and my people do those every morning. But if you had to pull one out and use it, you know, if you're just anxious about something, you can do this. If you say to yourself, I want to spend some time just really envisioning what I want right now, why not touch a point while you're doing that? It's not going to hurt. So you can pull them out too. But as a standalone, they're great in a group.
So as we close this healing conversation, how can we get access to more of your work and copies of your wonderful mind gems?
Okay.
And
You know what, just email me, or you actually go to our website. So our website is www.abqnaturalhealthcenter.com. So you can go to the website, you can contact me through there, and I'll send you a copy via email. You can print it out so you can get the mind gems. The classes and things are listed there. So classes and upcoming things that we're doing are also listed there. I'm in Albuquerque. I do travel. So if you had a group of people that, you know, really wanted this work, in fact, that's how I got here. There's a group of practitioners here who do quantum biofeedback who said, when are you going to teach us the Geotran work? And so that's how this, you know, that's how this evolved. So yeah, so I'm happy to do that. Love to share.
well, thank you so much, Dr. Louise, with the
You're welcome.
Geotran.
Thank you.
Yes, here at Peaceful Meadow Retreat. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thanks for being here.
Namaste.